Welcome back. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, says the United States is happy with the progress made between Nigeria and the U.S. in the fight against terrorism. Professor Osinbajo said after a meeting with the United States Vice President Mike Pence that they not only consolidated on previous talks, but also focused on how the two countries can work together on the threats to the Sahel region.
Well, yeah, it was a very good meeting. We had an opportunity to discuss a wide range of issues, from the economy, our economy and ways in which U.S. investors could participate effectively in the economy. We talked also about security, ways in which we could work together on, some of the threats, especially in the Sahel, and, some of the current threats that we've experienced. It was a great meeting, very, very good meeting.
Was there any specific commitment, especially on the issue of security?
Well, commitment, I don't think what we're working on at the moment, of course, cooperation that has been on for a while, so really the whole point of it was to see how we can bring several of those things to fruition. For example, there's a lot of cooperation on arms and ammunition, supply of arms and ammunition, which the U.S. very kindly and fortunately, have worked with us on. In the past few years, we've done quite a bit of work on acquisition of military hardware, especially, air platforms and all of that. And we think that's we're moving that in the right direction. They're happy to work with us on it, and we're looking forward to seeing all of it come to fruition.
Now let's get a wrap-up of the international stories. Here's Simon Pusey.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. A harrowing photo of a father and his baby daughter who drowned on the Mexico border is sending shockwaves around the world. The image is quickly becoming a symbol of the growing number of migrants risking their lives to reach America. President Trump is being blamed for the tragedy, with the US presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke saying he's directly responsible for the deaths. It's an image that highlights the crisis on the US-Mexico border. A man and his baby daughter face down in the river. It's so distressing we've decided not to show it. Some say this is exacerbating the problem. 20,000 police from the National Guard now patrol Mexico's border, turning people away trying to cross into America. All too often, though, people are detained illegally. After intense criticism, around 250 children were removed from this overcrowded facility in Texas, but after just one day, more than 100 of them were returned back there.
I've been doing work with immigrant children and families in detention for more than 12 years now, and I have never seen conditions as degrading and inhumane as what we saw in Clint. The children there were hungry, dirty, sick, scared, and all of them who I interviewed had been detained for longer than the 72-hour limit that the law requires.
The US House of Representatives has now approved $4.5 billion in aid aimed at raising the standards in already overcrowded facilities. The Speaker of the House says enough is enough.
This situation is child abuse. It is an atrocity that violates every value we have, not only as Americans, but as moral beings.
There is no question something needs to be done, or more heartbreaking scenes like this will become the norm. People trying to build themselves a better life, but paying the ultimate price. Special Counsel Robert Mueller will testify in an open session before 2 US congressional committees on July the 17th. He'll be questioned about his report, which was published in April. It concluded that Russia had meddled in the 2016 US presidential election, but it found insufficient evidence to establish a criminal conspiracy between President Trump's campaign and Moscow. The date of his appearance was confirmed after he was issued with subpoenas. 7 police officers have been killed during an attack in Egypt. It happened in North Sinai near the regional capital El Arish. The Interior Ministry says an assembled centre was targeted and 4 militants also died during clashes. One of them was killed when he detonated his explosives belt. Europe is preparing for what's being described as a potentially dangerous heat wave. Temperatures are set to reach 45 degrees Celsius in some parts over the next few days, with Germany, Spain and France all on high alert. Authorities in Paris are setting up cool rooms in municipal buildings, extending pool opening hours and installing extra drinking fountains. The deaths of 3 swimmers said to be victims of thermic shock have been linked to the extreme conditions. A record haul of methamphetamine has been seized in the Netherlands. Dutch police say they found 2.5 tons of the drug with an estimated street value in the hundreds of millions of euros. Police uncovered the consignment while visiting an office building during an ongoing investigation. They found them in a concealed room after noticing the second floor appeared smaller on the inside than the outside. They say it's the largest haul of the drug to date in Europe. And $108 million worth of confiscated drugs have been destroyed in Myanmar. The country is the second biggest producer of heroin and the source of most of Southeast Asia's methamphetamine. Myanmar, China, Thailand and Bangladesh have been fighting the illegal narcotics trade and its production in border regions. Malaysian authorities say they've seized more than 5,000 smuggled terrapins at Kuala Lumpur airport. 2 Indian nationals were travelling with the red-eared sliders, a semi-aquatic species of turtle, in baskets with their luggage. The invasive species is the most popular turtle in the pet trade. Their total value is almost $13,000. San Francisco will become the first major city in the US to ban the sale of e-cigarettes. The move follows a rise in the number of teenagers using them with nicotine. The ban doesn't mean they'll be illegal to use, but the sale of products won't resume until they're approved by the Food and Drug Administration. And finally, police in the States are trying to find the mother of an abandoned baby girl. The child was found in a plastic bag in Georgia after nearby residents heard her cries. They've released body cam video, hoping to receive credible information on her identity. Dubbed Baby India, she's now in the care of family services and is said to be doing well.
Oh, look how precious you are.
And that's your international news around the world in 5.
Welcome to Sports News. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have become the first team to advance to the knockout stage of the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations after they defeated Guinea 1-0 in their second match. Super Eagles centre-back Kenneth Omero scored the only goal of the game after 73 minutes, rising unchallenged to head home a corner for Moses Simon at the Alexandria Stadium. It was Nigeria's second Group B win from 2 games, but was another testing encounter after they edged Burundi 1-0 in their opener, having taken 77 minutes to break down the Burundians. The 3-time champions will face Madagascar in their final group game on Sunday. And that's Sports News. Ijoma is back for the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks a lot, Olumide. And the main news again. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, today met with his U.S. counterpart, Mike Pence, at the White House. The 2 vice presidents discussed how Nigeria and the U.S. can deepen relationships, especially in the areas of economy and military assistance. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks a lot for staying with us. I'm Ijoma Bunyato. Do have a good night.